The process of presidential election in Sri Lanka begins. After Gotabaya Rajapaksa resigned as the president of Sri Lanka, the process to elect a new president is now in full swing on. Members of the Sri Lankan parliament met for a brief special session on Saturday to announce a vacancy in the presidency. Lanka's new president is to be elected on 20th of July. Sri Lanka's former Prime Minister and present acting President Ranil Wickremesinghe and main opposition leader Sajith Premadasa are amongst the 4 leaders who have joined the race to become the next president. Marxist JVP leader Anura Kumara Disananayake and Dallas Alaha Peruma, a breakaway SLPP candidate, are the other 2 leaders who have so far announced their candidacy. The biggest reason behind the political crisis in Sri Lanka was the economic crisis that was caused by the government policies. Food shortage and rising inflation had brought Sri Lanka's 20 million population on the streets. Tourism, of course, is in total collapse and the economy has tanked. There is a massive crunch of essentials, waiting period of weeks to even get fuel. The political turmoil may be over in Lanka, but the economic crisis continues to deepen. Our next report tells you what next for the turmoil island.
Serpentine queues. Fight for fuel. Anger mounting. Sri Lanka, which is reeling under political and economic crisis, is facing an acute shortage of fuel and other necessities. In the capital Colombo, people have been waiting for days, standing in line to get fuel, and their frustration is evident.
The iconic Marine Drive in Colombo, the capital of Sri Lanka. Usually this place is bustling with tourists, especially this time of the year. You have the ocean on one side and a large number of 5-star hotels on the other. But what you see right now are just very, very long queues for fuel. People have been standing not for several hours, but for several days waiting for fuel.
More than actually 2 days. This is actually result of our government stolen people's money.
Have you also been waiting for 4 days, 2 days already in a line?
2 days. Yeah, 2 days.
It's been 2 days.
The Sri Lankan government, which is virtually leaderless, awaiting election of a new president, says it is doing everything possible to mitigate the crisis. To tackle the fuel shortage, the government is introducing a quota system. Under the scheme, the government will allocate a guaranteed quota of weekly fuel per vehicle on one national ID card. A QR code will be allocated once the vehicle chassis number and details are verified. The fuel will be allocated 2 days of the week on the basis of the last digit of the number plate. The government says the scheme will curb black marketing, hoarding, and will permit equal distribution of fuel for the people. The island nation has also launched a probe into the violence inside the presidential palace that caught the attention of the entire world.
These are the valuable items were being protected by the STF even on the day of violence. protesters could not enter inside. Look at these. Elephant teeth. These are the most precious and valuable items. Now, the forensic team which is investigating the entire violent scene, we are inside here. And now the STF has taken over the presidential palace since the protesters vacated. The valuable items are being counted and all the evidences are being collected.
India, which pledged a massive relief to its neighbor in its hour of crisis, is being hailed by the citizens of Lanka.
The other country, and they are helping us a lot, and I'm just thanking them so much. And we know that we are having a big problems, and always they support us when we are struggling. So thank you so much for that.
The Lankan crisis could spark immigration issues in India. Several Sri Lankans have fled their land and tried to enter India illegally. They were detained and shifted to a refugee camp in Rameshwaram. Since the crisis began, over 100 Lankans have tried to enter Indian territory. The island parliament has started the process to elect a new president after the exit of Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who remains defiant, saying that he served his motherland to the best of his ability. Violent protests have stopped, but Sri Lanka is still far from normalcy. With Gaurav Sawant, and Ashutosh Mishra in Colombo. Bureau Report, India Today.